The Mike Weatherford Show is proud to announce we are now officially powered by TEC. If their fiber optic internet service can handle everything we throw at it here in the studio, from videos to calls and live streams, you better believe they can handle your home or business too. If speed, stability, and service is important to you, you can count on TEC. Thanks, TEC. Now let's get to the show.
Recorded live in the studios of Brewer Street Mafia. This is a Red Dog Fred production.
And now, your number one rated show, The Mike Weatherford Show. Here's your host, Mike Weatherford.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Mike Weatherford Show. I'm your host, Mike Weatherford. We got a real good show tonight. I'm going to read a little bit to you here in just a second, see if this rings a bell with you. In September of 1987, Hugh Allen Heflin was found dead in a Stewart County jail cell. His hands and feet bound, he was gagged and hanging from the bars. Officials ruled it a self-inflicted suicide, but questions have swirled for decades. Amelia Courtney and Hugh's sister, Rhue Shelton, joins us to dig into the disturbing details of Heflin's final hours, the investigation, and whether this was self-inflicted or something else. Folks, we got a great show tonight. This is a local deal that happened in Stewart County in 1987. That's approximately 40 years ago, 38, 39 years ago. So, it sounds like a long time ago, but really in the scope of things, it's not. But here tonight to help me weed through all of this is my good friend, the one and only Mr. Pepsi Cola himself, Ricky Price. Welcome to the show, brother.
Good morning. Good evening, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, friend. How are you doing?
Man, I wake up today, and it's going to be a great show tonight.
It's going to be an interesting show tonight.
It is.
That is interesting, how you can be bound and gagged and call it a suicide. I mean, I didn't investigate it. I mean, there's more to it than what I just read, I'm sure, because I haven't read the report, but that's something, isn't it?
Well, I saw a couple of your notes, and I won't get into that, but the notes will make people say, how did this happen?
That's exactly right.
That's it.
So tonight we got some Zooms coming in here tonight. Burton Staggs is on the weather. He was going to be here with me tonight, but he will be calling in toward the end of the show. He's on the weather, pretty sick, and I told him to keep his sick hind in down in Wayne County. I didn't want that crap up here in Henry County, so he's going to call in here in a little while and give us his opinion, and also he'll probably give us an update on Buford Pusser's wife. So that's a pretty deal going on in Tennessee. So we're going to find out from Burton. He's been on top of this with Pauline Pusser's body getting exhumed, so he's going to give us an update on that, but it'd be later on in the show, and so don't go nowhere. But I want to welcome to the show Rhue Shelton. She's a sister of Hugh Heflin, and Amelia Courtney. She's a friend of mine out of New Jersey. She runs a podcast called Murdered LBL. Welcome to the show, girls.
Hi, how are you, Mike?
Okay.
How are y'all doing tonight, ladies?
Good.
Doing well.
That's good to hear. So, Rhue, I think that's your name, correct? Am I saying your name correct? You're Shelton.
Absolutely.
You're the sister of Hugh Heflin. So tell me a little bit about who your brother was. Who is Hugh Allen? Who is he? And tell me a little bit about him and, in y'all's childhood, and just start us out early as you can remember with him.
Oh, gosh. One of the earliest memories I have of my brother is he and I playing in my parents' basement and Sweet Home Alabama playing in the background.
There you go.
He raised me to love great music, influenced me to play guitar. But who is Hugh? He was a very sweet, kind, very likable person. He was class president for 2 or 3 of the years he was in high school. Was liked by everyone that ever knew him, ever met him. He was not without his faults and flaws. Early in his teens, he discovered he had a medical issue that kept him from playing sports. And once he could no longer play football, his life took a tragic turn. He
was
fell in with the wrong crowd.
He was a football player at the time, wasn't he? Was he
Correct.
not
he
on
played,
Go ahead.
He played Pee Wee all the way up through high school ball. He lettered out his freshman year.
Wow.
But unfortunately had to quit because he found out he had a back issue that could have caused him significant injury had he continued to play. And so he gave it up.
Wow.
And I've always thought for years that the depression over that and those issues led to him falling in with the wrong crowd because he just wanted to be popular. And so as it went, he fell into drugs and really did run with a rough group of guys that were considerably older than him at the time. Through that, he got entangled in a web of debauchery and deceit. I don't know how else to put it. And this is where Amelia and I first met. Our stories crossed paths in that I have said for years that I believe what happened to my brother was part of a bigger problem going on in Stewart County at the time by a group of individuals that controlled all the illegal interest in the county. But to back up a bit, my brother got in trouble. He did his time for it. He was a juvenile. But as in a lot of the small towns, once you get into that kind of trouble, they get their claws in you. They never let you go. And that's what happened to my brother.
Right.
Every chance they got, they harassed him in one way or another. So fast forward a few years, in the spring of 1987, my brother was harassed by the police again and decided he was tired of it. So he and another individual met with the TBI to provide information. The information they had was sufficient enough. They were told they would be protected. Months go by. Nothing happens. My brother was on his way home one day from a community not too far from where we grew up. And a state trooper pulled him over, proceeded to beat him so badly he almost cut his foot, his back of his heel off of his foot.
Wow.
I was the first person to see him when he got home that day. So my brother had made the decision at that point. He was done. He was done with all of it. He had moved out of the area, had gotten another job, was trying to change his life. But after that beating that day, he said, I'm not a snitch, but I'm done. And if they're going to send me to prison, then they're going to sit in a cell right beside him.
Who are they? Who you talking about? Other drug dealers in the town, or who are you talking about?
Yeah, that'll make itself apparent here in just a couple moments.
Okay.
And so he turned his evidence, and he was told again he would be protected. Well, some time passed. He left town, came back to go to one final court date, and the Stewart County Sheriff's Office picked him up, although he was out on his own bond that morning, to detain him for court, and my brother ran. And so based on information provided in an article that was written in a local online magazine called Potneck News, the article was entitled Drugs, the Dixie Mafia, and the Death of Hugh Allen Heflin.
Dixie Mafia.
Correct.
Ain't that
These
the same thing that
individuals-
was involved with Buford Pusser?
That is correct. The
So
town I grew up in was a river town.
So it is a thing. Dixie,
Yes, it
Dixie
is a very
Mafia.
real thing. It is a very real thing. It ran so deep that the sheriff had a deputy, a sworn deputy that owned a private plane that he housed in Henry County, coincidentally enough, because I have family there too, by the way. He flew drugs in and out of the county on that private plane. He knew who all the local dealers were. So when it came time to shake the tree and put some people in jail, he knew exactly where to go. So he would put the drugs out on the street, have these poor kids sell them. First, he got them addicted to them. Then he got them selling them. Then when the money was collected and the drugs were sold, he would arrest them, put them back in jail again, where they would sit anywhere from 18 months to 3 years.
Rhue, hold
knowing
on.
they didn't have...
Have you got proof of all this, or are you just allegations? I mean, with all due respect, it's easy to say, but is there proof of all this?
No written proof, but statements of witnesses will confirm what I'm saying.
Okay.
Other young men, well, they're not young men now, but at the time, other young men who were also subjected to the same harassment and coercion that my brother was subjected to.
So that's what he had talked to the TBI about, correct?
Yes.
And
yes.
that's what they offered him.
His comment.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
His comment to the family was, "I'm not a snitch," but I know he said, "Y'all can put me in the state pen. You can put me in the federal pen. Y'all can send me away to some forlorn place. I don't care. But for God's sakes, please do not send me back to Stewart County Jail, because if you do, I am a dead man. I will not leave that jail alive." And that is why he ran the morning they came after him.
Amelia,
Yes.
tell me what you know about what she said so far.
So where Rue and I cross roads is I started talking about Hugh Allen on the podcast when something came up about, I think Hugh had information about Carla and Vicky's deaths as well. He was friends with Vicky.
So that's where the connection comes. Okay.
Yes. And so I started talking about Hugh Allen, and Rue called me the next day and we talked, and then we decided to discuss what happened to Hugh Allen. And it was it was very upsetting, because I want to say one thing what Rue said about all these young men in that town at the time. There are so many boys from that time, from like 1980, to like 1990 probably, that just never stood a chance. Like they never stood a chance. Like she said, once they had their hooks in them, they owned them. And so it was like, I felt like the sheriff's department and some of the TBI even, I know I'm probably going to catch a lot of shit for this, but like they all really just kind of got their hooks in these young boys. And to this day, there's so many of them that many of them are dead. The rest are still on drugs. Some of them are homeless. Very few escape unscathed. And I've talked to the ones who did make it out, and they live to tell it. And they've told me so many things that happened to Hugh Allen. And they told me I had inmates that were in the jail at the time tell me what happened to Hugh in the jail. And from what I understand, if this is correct, the person or people that killed Carla and Vicky possibly took 4 people to the site where they were killed, where their bodies were still laying before they were found. So between September 17th and October 5th, this killer took 4 people to see the bodies, and with a threat of, if you tell what's happening, if you go to the police, this is going to happen to you. And
wow.
It's our knowledge that Hugh Allen is one of those 4 people.
And share what's happened to the remaining 3, to your knowledge, to what you can share.
Those other 3 are no longer living. They're all gone.
Now, I'm not calling. Wow, I wasn't expecting all of this. I mean, I'm good with it, but it's easy to make accusations. But Amelia, I'm talking to you now. You pretty comfortable with what was going on back in that day? You think that's really happened, or you think it's just jailhouse talk? Or wow, that's pretty big accusations. Y'all know that, correct?
The men that called me and told me things they told me.
Say it again.
The men who called and told me some things that they told me, it took a lot of nerve for them to tell me some of the things they told me. Like most men wouldn't tell.
Why hasn't it been investigated? If that went on, I
can explain that too.
Well, explain. I mean, now look, I'm just wow, Ricky.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's what I said.
Oh, y'all gotta give me a second here to
Back up a step here.
Yeah, let me digest this. Okay, I wasn't expecting all of this. Okay, go ahead now.
Part of the information I have provided you.
Right.
Up at this point in time, I have been very reluctant to acknowledge publicly the source and how I know about that information.
Okay.
But I know the writer of the Potneck article, and the information came from Hugh Heflin himself.
Wow. So your brother wrote that article?
No, he didn't write the article. The individual that wrote the article or provided the information for the article was a first-hand witness to that information from Hugh Heflin himself.
Okay, so
let
me ask you a few questions here. I'm going to be the jury here. If it was a local sheriff's department doing this, how'd they get the state involved? Because you said there's a state trooper involved in this, correct?
Yes.
So that
yes.
went to the state, and not just a county issue. Now we're accusing
Correct.
the state of being involved.
It's funny you ask me that, Mike. There's so many pieces to this. It sounds
crazy.
Like you couldn't write a movie fiction better than this, truly. When Hugh filed the complaint with the TBI, it resulted in Mike Smothers beating him.
Now, who's Mike
again.
Smothers?
Was the state trooper that beat my brother. And
Wow.
my brother filed charges against this said state trooper. He was the one that went to his commanding officer the next day after my brother was found hanging to tell him, you can dismiss the charges against me.
Hold on, man. Back up, Rhue, if you will. So after he beat your brother filed charges on this state trooper?
Yes, he did.
Okay, how did he do that? Through the state or?
He went to the TBI to add an addendum to the original charges he had filed.
Okay, what all charges had he filed earlier?
But they were harassing him. For example, it's getting really deep. When my brother first got in trouble, the very first thing he ever did to get in trouble in his life, he and a friend of his had smoked a little green stuff and were drinking and had went through this little itty bitty settlement close to where we live. And out of stupidity, his friend started shooting up streetlights. So my friend said, my brother said, hey, I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't do nothing. He said, I shot a street light out. You bet I did, because I was running in the cover of dark. I didn't want nothing to do with this. So he got in trouble, went to jail for 90 days as a juvenile.
Your brother did, okay.
It was back in 1980-something. I mean, he was 16, I think, at the
What
time.
year was your brother born?
66.
Okay, so he's been about 57, right? 58 or 9 if he's still alive. Go ahead.
Correct. And so as time goes by, every chance they got, as I was saying, every opportunity they had to put their hooks back in him, they would. So every time they caught him with a taillight out or not stopping completely at a stop sign, just the most innocuous of stuff, they would pull him over and harass him. Well, this one particular day, his girlfriend's car that he was driving broke down on the side of the road. He was in the process of changing a tire when State Trooper Smothers came upon him and started harassing him. Threw him against the side of the car so hard it knocked it off the jack it was on, and the fender well of the back tire almost cut the back of my brother's heel off.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And I mean, he looked god awful from that beating. I was eyewitness to it. I was the first person that saw him.
Did the officer, the state trooper, did he deny doing it?
Oh, he denied doing it, denied every bit of it. So then fast forward, the day my brother was found hanging, they doctored jailers' records, jailers' logs, to cover up the fact that same state trooper was in the cell with my brother unattended for 10 minutes alone. Okay? The reason it wasn't investigated is because at the time, the TBI agent that was doing the investigation was dating the then sheriff's daughter and was staying at his house during the investigation. I am not making this up.
Isn't there a song to bring that?
Wow.
The nights when the lights in Georgia or something?
Nights went out in Georgia.
Yeah.
Wow. This is deep.
I'm not making this up.
Okay, well.
And I knew I was onto the truth when the article went public about 10 years ago now. And someone I knew from my past who was a real good friend of my brother's tried to lure me back to the county under the auspices of playing music. And I was called by a third party that got wind of it and said, don't come, something's planned for you, and I'm afraid you're going to disappear if you come down here. Do not come back around here.
Amelia, did you know all of this? Is this news to you, or had you heard all this before?
I had heard when Rhue called me the next day after our episode aired. We were talking about Hugh Allen possibly being one of the 4 people who knew what happened to Carla and Vicky. And so he was running around with this group of guys, older guys than him that were
Let's
getting in
back up
trouble.
just a minute. I know nobody should not know who Carla and Vicky is. Let's back up a little bit and tell the audience who Carla and Vicky you're talking about.
Right. So Carla Atkins and Vicky Stout, who were murdered in 1980, or coming up on 45 years here in just a few days, actually. It's on the 17th. They went missing September 17th, 1980. And today still remains unsolved. It is being investigated still, and there's still a lot going on with that case. And I'm hoping we will have answers for that. And before we end, we got to talk about the celebration coming up. But anyway, when we talked about Hugh Allen in the episode, he came about because he might have been one of the people who saw what happened, who saw the aftermath of what happened to Carla and Vicky. And so I believe that he was also telling the TBI when he was giving information. I think that was part of his confession, or part of his, when he said he wasn't a rat, I think he was telling some of that as well. I think he was telling what happened to them. And it's been rumored, well, it wasn't rumored, it was the truth. I didn't believe this at first, that he had photos, we think possibly of the crime scene, in a coffee can. And it's buried in a graveyard, under a tree in a graveyard, a really small plot in Kentucky. And I know where it's at. And I asked the TBI and district attorney about it. And I said, how can we get to that? I said, I don't know if this is true. And they said, we know about that. And so they've already heard about that. And
what's in the coffee can?
Presumably pictures. No, we don't know what of. We don't know if it's just of, Hugh having pictures, that incriminate someone else, or pictures of his own.
They probably, after all this long, I'm sure they wouldn't
deteriorate.
Wouldn't you figure?
Or they're of Carla and Vicky. So no one really knows what was in that tin can, and we still haven't gotten the proper information. I mean, not the proper documents to go retrieve it. We have permission from the graveyard, or I don't know what you call them, graveyard.
What do you need permission? If the graveyard gives you permission, go dig the damn thing up. I mean, what are you waiting on?
He would like to have a court order. He's still looking for a court order. He said, just out of respect for the families that are in the graveyard, he would like to have a court order. So that's what we're waiting on. And I mean, it's been years, but so I don't know if we're going to get that or not.
Wow.
And it's very small, so I think we would be able to find, where.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wait, because if it's in a tin can, I don't know how it was sealed, but it's the odds of anything being in it every day you wait is a day too long,
Right.
Wow. So the connection that you told me, you have not told me about what this was, but neither one of y'all, we have not talked. We just talked a few minutes. We're trying to get Amelia's, get her off her head, make her stand up straight in his Zoom earlier. That's a different story. But we have not talked. Amelia, you and I did, and you just told me, Mike, there's some twists and turns in this I think you're going to like. So we think there's a connection. The Dixie Mafia, is that anything to do with Vicky and Carla? Or where do you think the connection goes, other than they just showed Hugh what could happen if you don't play the game? Is that what you think the connection is, or is there more, Amelia?
Well, I've always kind of believed Carla and Vicky's case was covered up by, I always called it the good old boy system, but I believe there was definitely some things hidden, some things destroyed. There was a lot of cover-up going on in their case, and there was a lot of protecting going on. And so I think Hugh Allen was just
one part of the puzzle.
A collateral damage of that, plus his own things that were happening to him. And like I say, even Trisha's brother, he was the same way as Hugh. Like they, always were. He was getting in trouble, but he never stood a chance as a teen. Like same thing. Like a lot of these boys, it just seems like I've talked to so many people that had brothers or sons or family members that were in those teenage years in the 1980s that just didn't make it out.
It was different back in that day. I agree. We didn't have cell phones that we got now. Everything's documented. When the cops pull you over now, most everybody's got their cameras on, and I know, but I don't think all police are crooked. But it was a different era, Rhue, back in them days, back in the 70s and 80s when I grew up. It was, Ricky, you too.
Yeah, I agree.
It was a different time. I mean, things are different. I mean, the way the cops acted, the way they done things, everything was just different. But that's just not far from where I'm sitting at right now. Stewart County's not that far, and I went over there. Standing Rock Creek, who didn't go over there? We all hung out over there back in the day, and I never knew that was even a thing over there. Never even heard. I mean, it was a mean place. We called them river rats. You know what I'm saying? They'd fight you. Hell, that's all right. But we never knew any of that was going on. So your brother got beat up by a state trooper, and pretty bad. You're saying, correct? I mean, it was pretty bad. And did he arrest him or just whoop him and leave?
Whooped him and left. Let him go. which is a little unusual. I to this day, I don't know why
Yeah,
he let him go. 'Cause it usually didn't go that way.
No, did Hugh say why he beat him up? Did he know why? Just trying to get him to shut his mouth, or what?
All Hugh ever said to me is that he was changing his tire and Smothers came up on him and was harassing him, just giving him a hard way to go. And Hugh's like, look, man, all I want to do is change this tire and get on my way. And he just kept insinuating that he was up to no good and had drugs in the car or whatever, and just would not stop harassing Hugh. And it ultimately led to him beating Hugh pretty bad. I mean, like I said, by the time he got home, his eyes were swelling together.
Wow.
His shoe was full of blood to the point it made that squishy sound when you walk.
Jesus Christ. He
He had to go to the emergency room to get stitches in his heel. It was that bad.
So he, what year was this? When did that happen?
87. It was
Same
just
year.
a few months.
It all just kind of come together about that September then. So he went to the TBI and filed charges against this officer?
Correct.
Did they investigate it, or what happened to the investigation?
Well, if you can call it an investigation. As I said earlier, the agent that they sent was dating David Hicks's daughter.
Now, who's David Hicks?
Staying at the sheriff at the time.
Okay.
He's now deceased.
Stewart County Sheriff.
Do what now?
Stewart County Sheriff.
Okay.
He was dating his daughter, his sister, and was staying in his house during the investigation. It's supposed to be a nonpartisan investigation, whatever. And it's
So
kind of
what-
hard to be indifferent when you're in the middle of it.
Well, I can see that. So, what did he tell your brother about them when he accused him of whooping him? Did he say, "We'll get into it," or did anything ever come of it? Was there charges? Did he go to court? I mean, what happened?
He was murdered before anything was able to be done about it.
And that's what Rhue's telling you. When the day Hugh died, Smothers made a phone call right away that says, you can drop those charges. He's dead now.
Wow, you got proof of that too, though? Is that just
Yes, we do. Actually, we do.
Wow. Have you took all this information that you're telling me and give it to somebody nowadays and let them investigate it? I mean, have you done any?
I've made multiple attempts, and people, either it's too old, too many people have passed on, or it's so unbelievable nobody wants to believe that I'm actually telling the truth. I mean, you can ask Amelia. One of the first conversations we had, I told her, I said, as sure as my 30 years of investigative work says, what happened to my brother and what happened to Carla and Vicky happened because it was all part of the same bigger thing, and that's this drug ring that went on in Stewart County from the mid to late 70s through about 1994 or so.
Wow. Ricky,
I've said that since day one, have I not, Amelia? And it's not just Carla and Vicky. It's not just my brother.
Is there a lot of other people that
mountain of people?
Wow. Ricky, have you heard about any of this?
I never heard this at all. But, but a mountain of people, that's a lot of people.
Yeah. Is, Rhue, you said investigated. Are you an investigator by trade or what do you said investigated?
Yes, in a sense I am. I have been an administrative law investigator for a federal enforcement agency for the past 30 years. I just recently retired.
Wow. So you was a federal investigator?
Yes, correct. Labor law, nothing like this. But,
okay.
More administrative law.
Okay, I thought, damn, you've been involved in the federal. You want to get the big dogs a cooking down and get the big dogs barking.
If only I had the ability to, but my investigative skills I've honed through the years of that job have made me that much more dogged and persistent that I know what happened to my brother. I know he did not kill himself. There's other things that I don't know that a lot of the public, even some of the family even knows, that I'll share. When my brother was found, he had run that morning. So he was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. So you would expect to see, since he had ran through woods, you'd expect to see scratches from briars and limbs and whatnot. However, when they autopsied my brother, he had concrete burns down his back, like he had been drug across a concrete floor. He had mysterious other burns on his body. He had purple marks on both sides of his throat and one in the center of his throat, indicative of manual strangulation.
Wow.
The rag that he supposedly stuffed down his throat was so far down, the coroner thought he was going to have to break his jaw to dislodge the rag to do the autopsy. And a person cannot do that to themselves. It's not possible.
Did the TBI investigate this too?
Again, if you can call it an investigation.
Wow. I mean, I want to, Ricky, I don't know what to say here, brother. I mean, this
that's
is
what I said in the first of the
serious.
show.
Yeah.
It's what she just said. I was like, wow.
Wow. I mean, that's some pretty, and she doesn't mind saying it.
That's pretty heavy.
She does.
That's
I
heavy.
mean, I want to think that our law enforcement is better than this. Y'all understand what I'm saying, Amelia and Rhue? I want to think they're better than this. I don't want to think that that's what we got going on, but we're looking at a different time, a different era, and I know things was different back then. But wow, that's a pretty serious.
That's tomorrow.
I need the police. Like I support the police.
Sure.
But
Sure.
what happened back in the 80s there in Stewart County, I still can't even believe. Like Rhue said,
I can't either. That's a pretty serious. I mean,
That's pretty serious.
I'm not discounting what y'all say. Please understand it, but that's some harsh accusations right here. I mean, that's pretty harsh.
It wasn't just you. It wasn't just Carla and Vicky. I won't say their names, but I could list off probably 15 boys in particular that were part of this whole same thing. They were harassed and bothered and made to trade drugs, made to deal drugs. And
I can name 3 adult men that died under some very bizarre circumstances.
Wow.
That we believe is tied to this.
It's if all this is true, leaning y'all's way now. I've been trying to protect the officers because I don't know what's because I do like y'all do. Y'all say you support the law. But if this is a true case, if it's all you're saying is true, there's something needs to be done. But that is just, you got to understand, throwing that out there at me and you, Ricky, that's kind of hard to digest, man.
That's real tough.
'Cause it's in our backyard.
Hey,
yeah.
I'll share this with you because you might find this interesting about there's something that can be done. The only thing that has ever come of this legally, and those in the law enforcement community listening to what I'm about to say will know very well where this comes from. In federal law, when a person is detained, and it rolls down to all municipalities, county, state, local, whatever, mental health facilities, anytime an individual is detained against their will, the detainor has a mandatory, obligatory responsibility, both morally and legally, to keep that person healthy, well, and alive while in their custody.
Yeah.
They failed my brother and my parents, and I took a suit to the United States, all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and set a precedent for other families so that the next family that loses a loved one under similar circumstances, the precedent was set under a statute known as deliberate indifference. And what that means legally in short terms is that you detain someone and you know they have a medical necessity that is urgent, life-threatening, and you fail to render aid, you are liable if that individual dies within your care because you failed to render aid. You were deliberately indifferent to the dire.
So you sued
need
them over your
that
brother's death,
individual.
right?
Yes, we did.
But
it was not a murder case. We sued for deliberate indifference.
Right. And
Mike,
so,
they did not, when he was found hanging, I'll let Rhue tell the names because I don't want to mix them up, of wherever Hicks came into play or Smothers came in or whoever came in and found him hanging, they left him hanging. They didn't.
after the break, I want to get into that. I'm building up to the part where y'all find his body, and but I'm getting back to this lawsuit. So who did you sue? Stewart County?
Yes, Stewart County. Oh goodness, it's been years. Let me try to. Stewart County, the jailer or the sheriff, the jailer.
And you had to carry it to the Supreme Court. Why did you lose in the local?
No, we lost the lowest court,
right?
The Sixth Circuit decision here in Nashville. They appealed. We won the Sixth Circuit Appellate Court in Cincinnati. They appealed again. It went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Supreme Court refused to hear the case on its merits, said that our ruling stood, and it set a far this sent shockwaves through the law enforcement community when this happened, because it made them have to step their game up. It put them in a position they could no longer hide the beatings and the things they were doing, because now there was more stringent record keeping and more explaining to do should something happen to that person on their watch.
Wow. Ricky, this is something. Girls, I have got to take a commercial break. Y'all will not go nowhere, correct? You're still going to stay here.
Absolutely.
But I got to pay my bills. And we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, we've been talking with wow, is all I can say. I got to push my hat bill up on that one. Rhue Shelton, she's a sister of Hugh Heflin. And Amelia Courtney, she's got a podcast called Murdered LBL. She runs that out of New Jersey. She's always bringing me stuff like this. And they'll tell you, I have not talked about this case much. It's wow is all I can say. But we're going to get ready to take a commercial break. But before we go to commercial break, I'm going to tell you, wrestling coming up this weekend out here at the Henry County Fairgrounds, and you're truly right here, the Riot Act 2. I'm going to be the enforcer. What's going to happen is they've asked me, because there's going to be a 7-man battle royal, and they're going to throw people over the top rope. When they throw you out, you're supposed to be out. But they've been saying the last time they did it, there's a bunch of cheating going on. So they hired me to be the enforcer to make sure that when you're out, you're out. So you don't want to miss that show coming up Saturday, September 6th, right out here at the Henry County Fairgrounds. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a chance to win you. Look here, tell me what we got right here, Ricky. We got 2 things coming up. Tell me what we got right here.
Well, if you can't see Mike, this cup is a Vibe cup, and you can download your Bluetooth to it.
Put the camera, zoom in on it. This is a speaker Yeti, I would call it.
That's
Dr. Pepper. It's got a Bluetooth in the bottom of it, so you can drink your beverage of choice, and you can hear the Mike Weatherford Show coming out the bottom. This thing is pretty cool. I've got one of these. It's pretty darn cool. I'm just here to tell you. It's got the charger and all inside of it. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to give you a pair of tickets. I'm going to give you a pair of tickets to go to the Henry County Fairgrounds to watch this wrestling coming up this weekend. It's coming up Saturday night. It's about here. This is already Tuesday. Coming up out here at the Henry County Fairgrounds. I'm going to be the enforcer. So I'm going to get you. All you got to be is the right caller. I'll tell you the number here in just a second. I'm going to give you from our friends at Pepsi Mid-America and Ricky Price, we're going to give you one of these Vibe speaker tumblers. This is pretty cool. And I'm going to put a pair of tickets on top of that. And all you got to do is be the 5th caller, and you can win you a pair of tickets coming up this weekend at the Henry County Fairgrounds, and you can get this Vibe tumbler. Pretty cool. We're going to take a commercial break. I got to pay the bills. Then we'll get back. We're going to finish up this conversation and find out what happened when they found this boy hanging in this cell. So we'll be right back.
shattering the image of standard nursing homes and committed to enhancing the human spirit, Charter Senior Living of Paris is focused on removing barriers that can prevent your success and a better life. A unique boutique community with many wonderful amenities, we offer various levels of quality care in an apartment and floor plan of your choosing.
The care that Mom has received here has been phenomenal.
Move-in day was such a happy day. The caregivers there were so wonderful. It was the best choice that we've ever made.
Learn more and request your free resource guide at charterparis.com or give us a call today. When physical assistance becomes a necessity, enjoy the peace of mind you deserve.
Chadcox, PLLC provides representation in the areas of criminal law, family law, personal injury, wills and probate law. Chadcox serves Paris and the surrounding area. He does not believe in a one-size-fits-all approach to representing his clients. He reviews every detail of your case to ensure that you receive an assessment that is specific to the unique circumstances in your case. Chadcox is located at 104 North Brewer Street, Paris, Tennessee. Contact us at 731-642-4446.
The Downtown Event Center is available for parties, meetings, or family get-togethers. The center comes with spacious seating and an area that will help make serving food easier. If you are having a birthday party, this is definitely the place for you. The Downtown Event Center is located at 107 South Brewer Street. Contact Jessica at 731-642-4992 to make your reservation.
Is your tank on empty? For best gas prices in town, fill up at 54 Fuel Mart, 1213A Westwood Street. And don't forget your other tank. Grab hot fried chicken, wings, pizza, and on Tuesdays and Fridays, the best fried fish around. Got a sweet tooth? We've got freeze-dried candies, candy bars, and more. Rainy day? Stay dry and use our drive-up window. Farmers? We've got your dyed diesel plus parking for big rigs. Open 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. If you're feeling lucky, play the lottery or grab a scratch-off while you're here. 54 Fuel Mart at the Westwood Y. More than just fuel.
Hey everyone, this is Jeremy Buckaloo reminding you to tune in to Sportscast with Jeremy Buckaloo live every Sunday night at 7:30 here from the Brewer Street Mafia Studios.
Hey folks, how many people has been over to Patty's 1880s, the restaurant that became an amazing destination? If you've been over there, hey, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of behind the scenes. I've got Kevin Reagan. He's the CEO of Patty's 1880s coming on the show live next week. That's right, folks, right here on the Mike Weatherford Show. We're going to find out why millions of people flock to Patty's each year and why it belongs on your bucket list. There's a lot going on. You can ride on the Lake Barkley. You can eat. You can walk around. It's pretty cool. We're going to find out the history, where it's been, what got it started, how it started, and where it's going. You don't want to miss this show. This is coming up next week right here on the Mike Weatherford Show as I have Patty's 1880s coming right here to the Mike Weatherford Show to tell us the history of this place. We all love to eat over there. I mean, you have to get a reservation sometimes a month out, but you don't want to miss this show. It's going to be great. I got Kevin Reagan. He's the CEO of Patty's 1880s Settlement. This is going to be a great, great show. Don't miss it. Coming up next week right here on the Mike Weatherford Show. And don't forget, on Tennessee Informer, Vanessa Miller. She's a concerned citizen and Christian advocate. Spiritual science or spiritual control. Faith versus falsehood. Unmasked Issa. That's coming up Monday, September the 8th at 7 p.m. on the Tennessee Informer. You don't want to miss that show. Go find him. It's going to be a great show coming up Monday, September the 8th at 7 p.m. And don't forget my old buddy here at Sportscast Live with Jeremy. He runs a podcast right out of the same studio here. We're in the same studio, the Burr Street Mafia studio. Paris Pickleball Mania. What if you haven't heard yet? Pickleball is exploding in Paris, and we've got the inside scoop. Tune in coming up Sunday at 7:30 p.m. as Jeremy has Tony Lawrence, and he's going to be talking about pickleball. It's more like a movement, they claim. I don't know nothing about pickleball. I know what a pickle fork is. Hell, I don't even like pickles much. Some pickles I like. I'm not a pickle man, but still, pickleball. What the hell is it? Find out on Sportscast Live with Jeremy Buckaloo coming up Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Don't miss it. Don't forget my old buddy, Terry Hudson. He has got a great deal going. ClassicHitsZ107.com. Everything's going internet nowadays, even your radio and your music. So tune in, go find ClassicHitsZ107.com and listen to Terry Hudson. He's got three great shows, 3 different days a week. He's got Country Classic Jukebox, Classic Hits Cafe, and Blue Collar Americana. That's at ClassicHitsZ107.com. Go find it, subscribe to it, and you'll thank me later. And don't forget, good neighbors share a great connection. If you've got TEC's fast fiber internet, that's what you're watching me on tonight, is TEC's the fastest internet available. If you've got it and you tell one of your friends or one of your family or just anyone and they put you down, you get a month free. That's right. All you got to do is just refer one of your family, one of your friends, one of your neighbors, or anyone that you know. Just refer them to TEC and you get you a month free. Hey, how much better can it get? Free internet for a month. And don't forget, TEC Internet and the Mike Weatherford Show, a winning combination. In the race for fast, reliable internet service, there's none faster than TEC. Be like Mike. Go to TEC and get your internet. They're talking in my ear. I couldn't hear what you were saying. Do what? Okay. Anyway, it's Gala Hope Center Ministries is coming on Saturday, September 13th at 6 p.m. It's at the Henry County Fairgrounds. It's a ministry going on out there. I don't really know a lot about the Gala Hope Center Ministries, but I'm sure there's a website for it. I'm sure you can look it up. Gala Hope Center Ministries coming on Saturday, September 13th at 6 p.m. Doors open at 5 p.m. And there's a Henry County bake sale and silent auction coming up Saturday, September 20th from 1 to 6 at the bowling alley. And all proceeds go to the youth bowlers, to keep them bowling for free. Go support these people. Go down there to your bowling alley. It's a bake sale and silent auction and help the youth, the Henry County youth, keep bowling for free. That's a great thing to help them with. And don't forget, save the date, October the 4th. It's the benefit poker run, Riding for a Cause. Live entertainment, big prizes, auctions, bands, food, and more. They got a raffle. They got the ZZ Top Eliminator, and the Gentle Lee will be there. And I don't see where this is at. I don't really know. Does anybody help me? Do you see anything, Ricky, where this is going to happen at? I asked this last week. Country Kids Christmas. I don't know where it's happening at. I need to find out. They give me this stuff to talk about, and I don't even know where it's happening at. But anyway, for more information, I can't read that. Call 731. I can't see the number. You can see it right there on the bottom. Hell, I need some glasses, I guess. But the Moonshiners will be there. Save a date. It's going to be Country Kids Christmas. It's going to be a great benefit poker run. Hey, don't forget, we're simulcasting live on Facebook and YouTube. We're on all the platforms. Hey, go to www.myparishtv.com to find out more about all the great shows that's going on myparishtv.com. You even find the Mike Weatherford Show over there. So, hey, remember, if you haven't done it yet, find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube, find us on Spotify, all those platforms we're on. Share us, and do me a favor, reach up there and follow us. Just take a second right now and follow us and subscribe to us, because the more we get, the more we can do for you. We want to be your go-to place for all the things we all want to know about. And last but not least, don't forget, coming up Saturday the 6th, right out here, this next Saturday, coming up at the Henry County Fairgrounds, your humble host, me, Mike Weatherford, will be the enforcer at this wrestling match coming up out there. Everybody said, why do you want to do that, Mike? I said, because I want to live in the past. I want a pair of black eyes. But I've got my buddy Ricky Price going to be there with me. He's going to be taking up my slack. He's looking for a hind hand to whoop, but I'm going to be enforcing the rule. When they throw them out of the ring, if their feet touch the floor, they're disqualified. But they said in the past that there was people that was arguing that they didn't touch the floor when they know they really did, and nobody really stood up to them. But I'm going to stand up to it. I'm going to make sure that whoever wins this match wins the match. So you don't want to miss this. I will be the special enforcer coming up Saturday, September the 6th, right out here at the Henry County Fairgrounds. And I want you, my viewer, to come and join me. And I might need your backup because you never know what these guys. They big old boy, but, I think I can handle it myself. But I think we have a winner already. And we got someone on the line?
Yes, you do.
Who have I got?
Paula Kelly.
Hey, congratulations, Paula. What do you think?
I think it's good. I think you and Ricky need to get out there and have a match, though.
Well, we are. He's going to be my backup.
No, how about
Yeah.
y'all actually wrestling each other, throwing each other out of the ring?
Oh, hell.
Run out of the ring.
Yeah, we'll get run out of the ring. Ricky's going to come off the top rope with that bionic elbow if they give me any crap. He done worked it out.
Yeah.
He's going. What do you think about winning you this Bluetooth tumbler from Dr. Pepper, which is from Pepsi Mid-America and Ricky Price, and a pair of tickets? Where else can you win stuff like that, girl?
At the Mike Weatherford Show.
That's right. That's right. What do you think about the show tonight? It's very interesting, isn't it?
It's very interesting. It is.
It's very interesting. Hey, I appreciate you calling in, and congratulations on your win. And tell me one more time, who's your favorite talk show?
The Mike Weatherford Show.
Appreciate it, girl. They'll tell you in the back how to pick up your prizes. And, hey, tell your friends to follow us and keep watching us. I'll thank you.
I do all the time. Thank you very much.
All right, Paula. There you go. We got a winner. Paula Kelly. She won them a tumbler, Bluetooth tumbler. It's got a speaker on the bottom right here, and it's got a place for your beverage of choice in the top. And you can listen to the Mike Weatherford Show while you drink your favorite beverage. And also, we put a pair of tickets for this week's wrestling match out here at the Henry County Fair. I want y'all, the viewer, to come out there and watch this. It's going to be pretty fun. I don't know what to expect. I have no damn clue, Ricky.
I don't either.
But I'm going to tell you what, son, it's going to be done right. I might get in trouble. They might throw me out of there. But
you'll be fine.
It's going to be going on.
I got you back.
All right. We've been talking with Amelia Courtney. She's got a podcast called Murdered LBL. She's out of New Jersey. And I'm talking with Rhue Shelton. She's a sister of Hugh Heflin. He's a young boy that in 1987 they found him in his cell where it was ruled as suicide. And she's been giving us a lot of great information. And all I can say is, wow. So welcome back to the show, girls. Y'all back? All right. Hey, I'm sorry I have to take a break, but I do got to pay the bills. You know how that is.
Yep.
All right, so let's get back to this. You're telling me that all that went on, I'm going to kind of skim through it. There was you said a cop beat your brother up on the side of the road and had to go get stitches and had to go have some work done at the hospital. And then lead me up to how he ended up in jail. He was coming back for his last court date, and they arrested him for something that morning, the same morning as court date, correct?
Correct.
And they arrested him, hauled him to jail, and you take it up from there.
Yes. He had been out of state. He had recently taken a job with a company that painted water towers, bridges, electrostatic painting. Was working out of state in West Virginia and had come home on September the 1st, for his court date, which was supposed to have been 2 days later on the 3rd. Okay. That morning of the 3rd, I was getting ready for school. I was still in high school at the time. Knock at the door, and although my brother had been released on his own bond months before when the court date was set up for this, for no reason given to us, a Stewart County sheriff's officer came to pick up my brother that morning and detain him for the court date.
Is that normal?
No. Not when you've been released under your own recognizance, no.
Okay, so it was not a new charge. It was just they come and got him to make sure he was going to go to court, correct?
Correct. Correct.
Okay, so they detained him and carried him to jail, correct?
Well, I can't say, unfortunately, it's a hard thing to say this way because I'm in a terrible position with this. I can't advocate a person running from the police, but the day my brother was met by that police officer that morning, my brother ran from the police.
Okay.
And he evaded them for about an hour and a half, from what I understand, before they finally caught him. They booked him into the jail, from what I understand from the records that are available, and there's no guarantee those records are even accurate. As best as I can recall, they booked him in approximately 8:30 that morning, maybe 9 o'clock, and by 10:15, the shower was heard running in the cell that he was in, and it had been running long enough that one of the other inmates in that section of the jail alerted the jailer that something was wrong. And that's when they found him, according to official reports.
Okay, what was he in court for, Rhue? What was he back in? What was he back in?
He had written some bad checks and had come into town to make restitution, make right on it, serve his probation or whatever, and go on with his life. He had made it clear.
So he was done. He was moving out. They had him a job.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to understand, my brother. There's a line in this Leonard Skinner song that is my brother. I mean, it truly is the epitome of my brother. I've tried everything in my life. The things I liked, I tried them twice.
Yeah.
That was my brother. Bless his soul. And when he came home, he and I had a long conversation the day before he died. We hadn't talked that long in 3 or 4 years. And I will never forget this. He held his shirt up and he patted his belly. He had a 6-pack. And he said, "Can you believe I quit drinking? I quit the drugs. I quit all of it." And at the time, I have to admit, I was skeptical, as much as it pains me and breaks my heart to say that, because I knew his history. I'd heard this before, But as it turns out, he was telling us all the truth. No drugs or alcohol in his autopsy. He had a great job back in West Virginia that he absolutely loved, and all he wanted was to make this final thing right with the courts of Stewart County and leave and never look back.
Why did he run, Rhue? Why did he run? Fear?
He told my parents a couple days before he died. He begged them, "Please do not let them send me back to Stewart County Jail because I will not leave alive. They are going to kill me." He ran that morning because he knew he was a dead man. He knew he was going to die. Maybe just put it as bluntly as I can put it.
Mike,
on the wall of his cell, there was something scribbled that not even the family knows about this, but Hugh had scribbled a note on the cell wall that morning that said, "God help me."
Wow. Wow. Go ahead, Amelia. That's
Amelia,
something.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine. That's something that hit deep right there.
But I want to go back to why Mike said, "Why did he run?" Well, that wasn't his actual court date. He was turning, like Rhue said, he was turning himself in. But it was like, when was it? Later that day or the next day? I don't know.
I don't remember. It was either later that day or the following Monday. He had come in on September the 1st, and his court date was either the 3rd or the 4th. I don't remember. It's been so long now. But he came into town.
How long had he been gone?
Months, like a year.
So he'd been gone a long time. So how'd they know he was back? If that morning he got in, they come over immediately and got him? I mean, how did they know?
A person snitched him out while he was home. And I'm the person that received the calls. That's why I can speak to this.
Okay.
That night, shortly after he arrived home, phone rang. And the person asked to speak to him and addressed him in a way that I knew they knew him. So I sure, hang on. Went and got him. He took the call. He came back out into the living room, and he was visibly shaking. And he told all of us, "If anybody else calls here looking for me, you have not seen me. You do not know where I am." Wow. And we believe that somebody was
warning him.
Somebody, when they found out and confirmed he was at home, we believe that same person that called him turned him in because no one else knew he was.
Why didn't he get him a lawyer before he went to court? I mean,
well, see, that's just it. He had a lawyer. All this was prearranged. There was no reason for them to pick him up that morning. He already had it prearranged with the judge. He'd had car trouble. He was supposed to have been into town the week before, but his car engine had blown. He had called his attorney and the judge, and they agreed to postpone the court date for 1 week to let him come home. And he was still on his own recognizance, meaning he was not to be picked up on bail. All he had to do was show up in court.
Wow. So they found he got him, put him in jail. And how long was he there before they found his body?
Approximately an hour and a half.
Wow. Man.
Rhue, I think you said September. He died in June, right? Or no?
September.
No, that was when the beating occurred. Was in June.
That's
tomorrow, unfortunately, is the 38th anniversary of Hugh's passing.
Tomorrow. Oh man, I hate that. It's got to be tough telling this story. Have you told this story before, or are we getting kind of the first time you've really come out spoken with this?
I've told bits and pieces of it. I don't think I've ever gone this depth and shared some of what I've shared. Because to be honest, I'm straight up tired of hiding over it. I'm tired of living in the shadows over it. I know things that, at the sake of sounding melodramatic, could cause me great bodily harm.
Right.
That's why I've stayed away from Stewart County all these years.
Right.
But
it's over now.
There are people that know, and I know they know. And to me, the weight of a life is a terrible thing to live with.
Yeah.
And it's time. It's time, as ugly and dirty as the truth is. It's time that my mom was the last to go. I'm the last direct living family to my brother. And it's time the truth comes out. My family never recovered from his loss.
It had to be hard. Yeah. So they found his body in the cell. And who found his body? Did you said an inmate that was in there heard the water running and called for one of the jailers to come and check him? Yes,
and the jailer was the one that went in and found him.
What did they find? He just hanging from the. What was he hung? What happened?
I'll try to explain this as best as I can. The jail, there was one long corridor that went from the main entrance to the jail cells, down the hall into the sheriff's office. Off of that main corridor, you had two smaller corridors that made like, if you could picture the letter F, for example.
Gotcha.
My brother was on one of those corridors by himself. They had segregated him that morning. There was no one else in that entire cell block. Now, this is what no one can explain to me. When there's more than one inmate in the cell block, they will lock the block door at the end of the hallway and let the inmates walk around amongst the bunks and talk to one another, play cards, whatever. That particular morning, both my brother's cell door was locked and the hall door was locked. So he was double locked in his cell for no apparent reason. He was by himself. Okay. In this particular cell, it is the only cell because the jail no longer exists. It was the only cell in the facility that had a shower for the inmates to bathe in. So there was a Creco block enclosure built off of
There's a picture. Can you see that picture?
Yes.
Is that the old jail?
That's the old jail. That's the main bunk room, like they called it the bullpen.
Right.
And down the hall would be back behind you in this picture.
Right.
Was the smaller cell blocks. They were 2 rows of individual cells with about 4 cells in each row. And so my brother was in one of those. The way the shower was made, an existing Brico block wall was used to make the one wall of the enclosure, and they Bricoed out an L-shaped wall to complete the shower enclosure. Right. Well, my brother supposedly, at 5 foot 10 inches tall, 175 pounds, had supposedly climbed up on this block wall that was 6 feet high, and in the clearance of 2 feet space, head clearance, managed to tie his feet, stuff a rag down his mouth, tie his hands behind his back, and roll off of said wall without breaking his neck. He was found with his knees on the lid rim, and his toes were touching the floor. And an expert from the University of Alabama at Birmingham testified that given my brother's age and excellent physical condition, had he been cut down and rendered immediate aid, there was a 94% chance he would be alive. And I can't say this but any other way. Those bastards let my brother hang there and die. They wanted him dead. And they let him hang there and die because he was a quote unquote crime scene.
Wow.
Well,
pardon my language, but sometimes you just got to call a spade a spade.
That's okay. I mean, you've got the right as a sister to tell how you feel. There's no one should ever question your
the
right.
very people that are supposed to protect and serve protected nothing but their self-interest that day. Because when they found him, he was alive. He had a heartbeat. The doctor testified so.
Doctor? They had a doctor in there?
When they called the doctor in to try to render aid or pronounce him dead, the doctor screamed for them to shut up talking and carrying on in the room. There were so many people
hold on a minute.
trampling all over the crime scene. He couldn't hear, but he testified that he heard a heartbeat.
Okay, now hold on a minute. So it took a while for it, because there's not a doctor at the jail, right? A doctor don't stay there.
It took approximately between 20 and 30 minutes from the time they called the doctor for him to arrive.
And he was still hanging that whole time?
Yes. The doctor ordered him cut down when he got there.
Why did they leave
The sheriff wouldn't let him cut him down. And someone, what do you call the inmate that has like privileges?
Trustee
came out with a knife or scissors to cut him down, and they told him no, like leave him hanging.
Okay. Why? Is all this backed up with facts? You've got what you're saying? You can prove all that happened?
Yes.
It's written down in records?
It's in sworn court testimony, yes.
Wow. What was the reason for leaving him hanging 30 minutes?
They wanted to pretend like they didn't know what to do. They'd never had this happen before, and all they had been instructed was that it was a crime scene. And we had
so they're saying they left him up there to investigate what happened, because they probably assumed he was dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what the Supreme Court case is about. That's what she's saying now, that law has changed now, that they have to be cut down so they can render aid immedially. Like,
what was he hung? Would he hang himself with the sheets in there or something, or what did he use?
We've never figured out how he did it, or how whoever did it. But the bed sheets were ripped into strips, and anybody that's ever seen a bed sheet knows how impossible they are to rip from the edge. And we never have figured out how the sheets got ripped.
I'm trying to digest this, okay? That's pretty deep, Ricky.
It is deep.
It's
and
deep.
Here's another one I'll lay on you. The clothes that he left that morning that he ran, that he was wearing, were not the clothes my family was given back. And his wallet has never been seen again.
Wow. Did you sue Stewart County for this death?
No. And
you said it was in court
reason.
record. You said it come up in court records.
The only reason we did not sue for a murder case is because we did not have absolute proof of a murder, and it's double jeopardy. We did not, as a family, we made the decision not to even pursue the murder charge because we knew we could absolutely prove the deliberate indifference charge. Since there is no statute of limitations on murder, that's part of the reason I'm here today, actually, is hoping that somebody will have mercy and their conscience will compel them to come forward and tell what they know. It's been long enough.
There's nobody alive today that was part of that, are they? All the characters are dead.
There may be a few that were witness to it.
See, I'm not talking about
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Wow.
There's some former inmates that were alive. That are alive.
Have you talked to the former inmates that was there? What did they say happened? Are they backing up the police side, or are they backing up y'all's side? What are they saying?
They didn't back up the police. They actually told me some information of things that happened to Hugh while he was in jail the prior time. And that was something I really did not even want to have to tell Rhue about. And I mustered up the courage to do so. And again, these are things that grown men don't normally talk about publicly.
Wow. Man, I'm gonna tell you, Rhue, I can feel your pain, and I know you're not sitting in the studio with me. You're zooming into me from wherever you're at. And but I can tell with talking to you that you wholeheartedly believe that your brother was murdered. There's no way there's no way anybody can convince you different.
No. People have asked me many, many times, family, close friends over the years, do you think he did it? How come you can't accept that he did it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to lead to that.
And I can say this with every ounce of conviction in me. I knew my brother very well. He and I were very close. And he did not take his own life. He had a lot to live for. He was happy. He was well adjusted.
Well, he was at your house.
Bright future.
You was there with him right before. A couple of hours before his death, right? You was with him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was happy. I mean, he was happy. He was excited about this new job he had. He loved it.
So you think it boils down to this? Wow, I don't know what to say. I've never had a show like this, and I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, you know, you've got your right. I believe that you've got the right as a sister to say what you think. I really do. Everybody's got that right to say what they think's happening. You've got the right to scream it if that's what you really believe. And I really believe that. There's no way, there's nothing that can be said to you, Rhue, that would make you change your mind that it was suicide. There's nothing out there. Nothing. There's nothing that, just too much.
Short of a witness coming forward and disputing everything that I know at this point, no. I know too many things that just don't add up. They don't make sense. And frankly, it would be easier for me to accept if my brother had taken his life, because at least then I could say that's a choice he made. He did it of his own volition. He was an adult, and as much as it breaks my heart, he did what he did.
Yeah.
But
I say that
he was denied his right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
It's nobody can judge you. It's like when you lose a loved one, Rhue, and Amelia, same way. There's no book on how you should mourn. There's nothing to open up and say this is how you're supposed to do it. You've got the right to think what you think, because I'm sure that you've got reason what you've talked to people and all these accusations. You said you can back them all up with facts, right? You've got it written or whatever. You've got facts. Yes. You're just not saying what you believe. This is stuff. It's facts that you have the facts.
No, I wouldn't jeopardize and risk libel and slander for nothing. I mean, if I say it, I believe it. And I've got documentation.
Yeah, that's what documents are what I'm trying to use. Wow, why come you never carried that documentation to the authorities and say this is what happened to my brother? And lay it out there. I mean, you know, that's a fair question to ask you, isn't it?
But Mike, the fair question back is what authorities?
Yeah, because I can say this, Mike. There's I've made three.
Because if
the FBI. You know, there's a lot of organizations out there for law enforcement, a private investigator. There's a lot of people you could take that evidence to that you say you have, Rhue. And I'm not disputing you. Please understand, I'm not.
I do. I'm not offended at all.
But don't be offended. But there's avenues to carry this evidence to and say this is what happened to my brother, and lay all that evidence out. There's the FBI. I mean, there's private investigators. There's all kinds that could take your evidence and say this is what we got and hand it to the district attorney, and they could bring in a special district attorney. You know.
Yes.
But I'm just saying. That's why I asked you earlier, and I really do believe that you believe this. I'm not saying no other thing. I do, and God knows that I feel for you. It's hard to live. I'm not going to ask your age, but you was fairly young when this happened. You've had to live your whole life with this, and God knows I feel for you in my heart. I really do. Thank God, my sister. I lost a brother when I didn't get to meet my brother. He died before I was born, but I've got a sister. But I can only imagine growing up with your brother either getting murdered or hanging himself. Either way, suicide, it's hard, Rhue, and I feel for you. Yes. Your whole life has been a big hole there that nothing can fill. But there's got to be some way that you can take what evidence you're saying. If I was you, I would be hard to be a private investigator. I'd be going to the FBI. I'd take my evidence and I'd say, these suckers done this to my brother and they're going to pay. I mean, that's just Mike.
One of the reasons I wanted to come on your show, and by the way, thank you so very much for hosting me tonight.
Well, I'm glad to have you. Y'all have just story. When you get me speechless, you've done something.
Yeah, you've done it tonight. You got him tonight.
One of the reasons I wanted to come on here is to let y'all know that I have made some attempts. Of course, you know my budget has been limited, so that's the biggest limiter there. But in the past, I've made 3 separate attempts to meet with the FBI to obtain the physical evidence that they still to this day retain on my brother, and they refuse to meet.
FBI or TBI?
Excuse me, TBI.
Okay.
And they refuse to meet me, and they refuse to release that property to me.
You can get
And
that
if
to
there's
the
nothing
courts.
to it, at 20 or 38 years later, why not give me the property that's in evidence
Yeah.
so that I can pay to have it tested or pay to, I'm hoping through reaching out through your program tonight that somebody will come forward that's willing to volunteer some time and tools and assistance that I just don't have the financial means. Because believe me, there's a lot of things I want to do.
Who
I
would
wanna
have the
interview
financial?
people.
But,
I would consider exhumation of my brother as detestable as that thought is. If it would get to the truth, that's all I want is the truth, no matter how ugly.
Would you
painful
accept it if
is.
it come back as it was, just like they said, a suicide?
I would.
Okay.
I would. If someone medically could prove to me that he killed himself, then I have no choice but to accept it. And in a way, it would be an easier pain to carry because at least then I know, like I said, he did it himself.
Right. So
it's a different reality when you feel like a loved one's life was taken from them.
I can only
not like
imagine.
this.
I mean, I've done quite a few of these shows with Amelia. And Amelia, this one right here is you told me there's a lot of twists and turns. And girl, you was right about the night. But I can only, and I want my viewers to understand, believe this girl or you don't believe this girl, that's not the point. But look what she's went through for all these years, the pain and all that she's had to go through with all the missed holiday. That's got to be the hard. And his parents. Rhue, when did your mom and dad die? What year did they die?
Well, let me see. My dad died about a year. Let me see. Hugh died in 87. Dad died in 98 from cancer. Mom passed in 2020 from advanced Alzheimer's.
Well, look how long them parents had to go losing it. You lost Ricky. She lost a brother. But them parents lost a child.
Oh yeah, you're saying 87 to 2020.
She suffered.
That's
look at all the birthdays, the holidays,
Yes,
the Christmases, and the time that you're supposed to spend. You're not supposed to bury your children.
You're right.
No.
It's not. You're not.
My mom always used to say that to me, and I think as I get older, I never had children myself, but
Right.
Looking at it as a 16-year-old as he was when he passed, through all these years, and now being in my mid-50s, the loss is so much more impactful now because I wonder what would have been, what could have been, and that makes it even that much more determined to solve it because he deserves that much. I don't know how else to say.
My mother said the same thing about my brother. This show's not about me, but I'm going to relate something to you. When my brother died, my mother took it hard, and she said, "You ain't supposed to bury your children." And then she lost my father; he died, and she said, she said, no matter how hard it is on losing your dad, because they was married 60 years, and my father died of cancer also. She said the pain is unbearable, but it's nothing like losing a child.
My mom said the same exact thing to me.
Yeah, with a mother. There's something about a mother and a child that's different than a father and a child. We all love our children, but the mother carried it for 9 months, and she's kind of raised it. But, Rhue, I appreciate you sharing this story. I wish there was something I could say, but you and Amelia both have really shocked me. Amelia, I usually got a lot to say, don't I, Amelia?
Yeah.
He said, wow.
Well, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some accusations but
Mike, can I say one thing? I'm sorry.
Sure.
A couple things. I think she mentioned his neck was not broken, his hyoid bone was not broken, and for all intents and purposes, whether it was self-inflicted or a purposeful homicide, if they had rendered aid right away, like Rhue said, there's like a 94% chance he would have lived.
I'm sure you said that, but I don't think that was malfeasance. I think that was probably just lack of training. They thought he was gone. I want to think that they didn't let that poor boy hang there knowing he wasn't passed yet. I would hope so.
Well, I will say this.
When you check to see if they were breathing or not?
Yeah, but we're in 87. Let's go back a few years. We're in 87. We're not 20 years, and things was different. But I don't want to think that poor boy laid there and they knew he was alive. That would piss me off. Right now, it would piss me off.
I'm saying they didn't know that. For what this is worth, Mike.
Yeah.
The jailer. Okay, there was a jailer that went initially to check on Hugh, and when he found him hanging, he called one of the trustees to come and help. The trustee that went to help ran to the kitchen to get a butcher knife to immediately cut Hugh down.
Yes,
As
what I would say.
Ran back into the cell. He was told, "Get your blankety blank out of here unless you want to wind up blankety blank like him."
Holy crap!
And so that leads me to believe that no, they knew exactly what they were doing.
I don't think
you said it.
They suffocated. It didn't break his neck. Didn't break that bone in his neck. The poor boy suffocated. Is what happened. Just pure old choked him death.
Let me just put it bluntly. There's signs of manual asphyxiation that went unrecognized by the coroner. He recognized it, but he didn't explain it.
Okay.
Wow.
And that's been the one thing that made me hang on. Now, wait a second. Why would you tell a jailer, a person whose only sole interest is to render aid and help?
Right.
Why would you, or trustee, why would you tell that person, get out of the cell or you're going to wind up just like
Have you got documentation of that being said too? Is that just hearsay?
Well, I'll put it, yes, I do. Yes, I do, because the gentleman testified in federal court in front of a judge, and his legs were knocking the microphone stand against the wall of the witness box so hard the judge had to dismiss the jury to calm him down.
When he was telling
he asked the gentleman a series of questions, and outside the presence of the jury, the judge said to both counsel tables, "If something happens to this young man because of his testimony in this courtroom today, we will be trying a murder charge and questions will be raised."
Wow. That's public records, that trial. I'm going to tell you what I would do. If you really believe this went on, I would contact the FBI and I would get all that information. It's public records by now. It should be. You should be able to file some papers and get that. Maybe an attorney is watching somewhere, or maybe a private investigator will help you do that. Either way, either you're right and it was other than a suicide, or if it comes up and it is suicide, at least you'll know. Because you have a doubt in your heart right now, Rhue, and I feel for you. There's a doubt in your heart, and you're entitled to feel this way. No matter what anybody says, you're entitled to feel however you want to feel. There's no book out there to tell you how to feel when something like this happens. I don't want to know how I would feel something like that happened to one of my children or grandchildren. I don't know how I would feel, so I can't judge you. You got all the right, and honey, I feel for you. But get that paperwork so you can settle your mind, so you'll know if my brother really did commit suicide or it wasn't. You need to deserve to know, because there's doubts in your mind right now. You know, you done said, yeah, I would accept it if they proved me it was suicide, or I accept he was murder. You accept either one, correct?
Yeah. Oh, and one last note to leave you with. He did leave a note, but you'll find this interesting. Most people, according to the behavioral analysis data that's available, most people, when they write a suicide letter, say, "I want to exit this earth. This is why." If they leave a note. The preponderance of people don't even leave a note. My brother's note said nothing of the sort. It was, "Dad, I'm sorry for hot wiring your truck and burning a tank of gas out of it going to see friends of mine yesterday. Rhue, I'm sorry for taking cash and money out of your top dresser drawer." It was like the confession of a man that knew he had mere minutes to live. And how do you rectify and reconcile onto paper everything your heart wants to say? Because the letter in no way at all was a suicide note.
Yeah, because that was what they considered a suicide note, correct?
Yeah.
But it didn't say, "I'm going to kill myself, forgive me for doing this," or none of that. It just said, "Forgive me." Wow. Ricky, what do you think? You've heard this like I have. You got to help me out here. You're awful quiet, too.
I'm going to dissect this one.
Oh,
I'll tell you.
Digest it, too.
I'm telling you, it's
wild,
It's
man.
wild. It is.
Don't you feel sorry for Rhue?
You have my prayers, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I believe in the power of prayer.
Yes, we have to. Yeah. That's all we got.
So, you know, you just have to put some closure with it. And
wow, it's just hard to think.
It is.
I don't want to believe. And I don't mean disrespectful to Rhue by any means, but I want to believe that our police departments are our protectors.
Yeah.
I want to believe they're there to save and protect us. I do not want to believe that they do stuff like this. And I think Rhue doesn't neither, because I in my own way, I asked her, she said she would accept either answer. So she's just looking for the answers. And I don't know why someone don't help this poor girl get the answers.
She needs closure.
She needs closure.
I made my brother a promise the day that we put him in the ground that I would do everything to my last breath to get to the truth. That's all I have ever wanted.
If anybody out there watching me knows any private investigators or anybody that could get a hold of this girl, get a hold of me and I'll get you hooked with her. Yeah, we want to put Amelia's tip line up here too. But there we go. Call this number right here. And Amelia, can you see the number we got up? Is that good numbers?
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right, now I want you to call that line right there and say, hey, we want to help Rhue. We've got a friend of mine that's a private investigator. Just at least let her tell you, because I'm sure she didn't tell everything on this show. I mean, I'm sure there's some stuff she held back on. Find out and help this girl, because she said if she would accept that it was suicide. That'd be a hard pill to swallow, but she would accept it, or it wasn't suicide. But call these numbers. If you got any family, any friends, help this poor girl. 35 years, right at 38 years now, of going through 38 years of this. Her parents, the Hugh's mom and dad have done passed. They carried it to their grave, not knowing it, with doubts in their mind. Let's don't let that happen to Rhue. If you know someone that can help this girl, because she done said she's open-minded enough, she will accept that it was suicide. But she just wants to know. There's too many doubts in her mind. Rhue, am I saying it like you're thinking? There's
absolutely. And if anybody has any information that it's been weighing on you, please, it's time to talk.
It is. That's right.
Talk to Mike. Talk to whomever. If you're not comfortable talking to me, I certainly could understand.
Yeah. We put a tip line up there. Put that number back up there one more time while we're talking. We'll talk over it. Go ahead,
I'm not
Rhue.
out for a pound of flesh. I mean, other than to say, if we found out that, yes, there was a cause for a crime and people could be prosecuted, then sure, obviously I would like to see that happen.
Sure.
But I'm not deliberately out for a pound of flesh, because
But if it come back it was suicide, would you accept that?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
The
That's all I
saddest
want to make
reality
sure.
of all I had to accept is that according to information provided to me, there's a group of young men that were forced to do things they didn't want to do.
I can understand. And also,
and it haunted them.
It sure did.
And it's time to unburden your soul.
It is time. I agree with you. And Vicky and Carla, she just tied that in together right there. And if you can help her, let's all say, Rhue, I'm going to leave it like this. Put it back up on Rhue. Honey, I want to leave it like this. I'm going to be the devil's advocate right here, if you allow me just a minute. I done told you I feel for you. But I want to prove to you that it was suicide. I don't want to think that it wasn't. Does that make sense? I don't want to believe
I understand that.
I don't want to live in a society where the police officers do what they do and get by with it. I don't want to live in. I don't want to believe that happened. Does it happen? Sure it does. God knows it's happened. Yeah, it has happened. But I want these people to come around and help you, so we can all think that when we get pulled over by a cop, we ain't got to worry about getting shot, or we get put in jail, we can leave at jail.
Right.
That's what I want.
What is the saying, the old saying, those who are ignorant to the past are doomed to repeat it?
That's right. That's right.
And so I want to bring things like what happened to Carla and Vicky, what happened to my brother, what happens in Paris and Big Sandy and all these little towns around us that should have never happened. Okay, maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
You're right.
But we live in a different day now, and we can all make sure it does not happen.
That's
now.
right. That's it. I agree.
That's the main reason that I'm doing this.
I really appreciate you coming on here, but I want to help you if I can. I mean, I'm not a private investigator, but I've got a pretty big arms. I know Amelia can tell you. Anytime Amelia needs something, she calls Mike, right or wrong.
Yes.
So what I'm going to try to do is reach out and get someone to talk to you or tell you, read you the right direction, because I honestly want it to come back as a suicide. I don't want to think our police departments like this. I know you don't want it to be like it, and Amelia, I think you're the same way. We all want it to come back to where it was just an accidental, suicidal, or something like it. I don't want to believe that it's the policeman.
Or like Rhue said, maybe, it would help if she knew it was his choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But, nobody can fault you for what you think, Rhue. I'm the first one to stand up. It's why I do my show. Everybody's got the right to say what the hell they think. We've gotten too much in this country where we don't like what the other people are saying. We want to shut them down. We don't like what they're doing. We want to close them down. Well, I'm trying to bring that back to where you've got just as much right to sit right here and think what you think as I do what I think, Ricky thinks, and what Amelia thinks. We all have got that right. We might not know it, but right now we still got that right. And you're more than welcome to share what you think. But I'm also glad you said one thing makes me want to help you, but you would accept if it wasn't what you thought happened. If it was just a pure, simple suicide, you would accept that.
It would actually be easier to swallow if he had taken his life, because at least, like I said, then he was a very unhappy, troubled person that chose to exit this world. That's a whole different ilk than someone deliberately taking his life.
Girl, we're going
to
pray.
And in fact, I've said to my own family who some of us are in disagreement over this issue it would be much easier to accept if I could prove that it was suicide.
Right. Either way, you need some help. You do. And somebody's watching this show knows somebody can help this girl. We put the tip line up one more time for me, Kevin. I know I'm driving you crazy back there. But all you got to do is call this number. Amelia will contact and get this took care of for you, and she'll get you hooked with Rhue, or she'll take you whatever you want. Just if you know anything to help this girl, or if you know that it'll make it that the other way where it's not suicide. Either way, if you know anything or know someone that can help this girl, just call this number, because she deserves. Put yourself in this girl's shoes. She believes what she believes, but she's open-minded enough to say, hey, it may not be the way I'm thinking. It could have been suicide, but all the roads lead to it wasn't. Well, let's help her get her mind made, because she says she's in her 50s now. She's lost her mother. She's lost her father. Let's do the right thing. Let's do what a human's supposed to do. Let's reach out and help someone that needs help. So if you know anybody, private investigator, or somebody in the upper parts of law enforcement, at least talk to this girl. Let her lean on your shoulder a minute. Let her tell you what's going on and listen to her, and just do that for this girl. We deserve that. Don't you think, Ricky? She deserves it.
She deserves it.
And the one caveat I can add to that is, if you're in law enforcement and interested to help, the first hurdle that must be overcome is for a member of law enforcement to accept that maybe there is a rogue cop or police out there.
They all accept
that are capable of doing something like that.
They accept it. Every industry knows. I don't care. You got doctors, mechanics, podcasters, and cops. There's bad in all. The only perfect one was Jesus Christ, and we hung him on the cross.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Well, I'm going to pray for you. I really am. And I want to tell you how much we appreciate you sharing this. Even though, Amelia, you told me there's going to be some twists and turns, girl. But when you got me quiet, you've accomplished something, correct?
That's good.
It is good when I'm quiet. But I appreciate you, Amelia.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
And keep doing what you're doing up in New Jersey. Did I say that right? New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Good. But can I say real quick, I'm coming there in October, and again, we're working on all the details, but I want everyone to save the date for October. Oh my gosh, I don't have my camera.
October 11th.
October 11th, we're doing a not quite a visual this year for Carla and Vicky, because it'll be 45 years. So we're going to kind of spice it up a little bit this year and have more of a celebration of life for them. So I don't have all the details yet, but I'd like everybody to save the date. So
I'm going when you got it all worked out, get with me. I'm going to put it out there and let everybody know about it. We're going to try to pack the place. If you get your venue worked out, you and I have tried to work on that today. I've got you a band. All you got to do is let me know where they can hook up their extension cord. I reckon.
I think it'd be great, and I'd love to meet everybody that I've spoken with before.
Are you going to be here to be on my show on a Tuesday? You going to get to hang around that long?
I think, I've got my class reunion also coming up, so
well, great.
I think I'm going to stay a little while.
We'll try to book that night. We'll do a show, and you get to sit here in the studio with me and do it instead of always Zooming. How you like that? That way you won't have to sit like that, turn your camera sideways.
Or circle it or split it up.
Or split it up. Would you do that for me? I like to. You and I have been doing these shows, a couple of years probably, at least a year. Never met her.
Yeah.
We talk on the phone. We text. We talk like we are now, but we've never met each other. And that's weird, ain't it?
That's weird. I know. I've talked to, there's so many people that I need to meet from Dover and Paris. That Rhue, for instance, I've known for over the phone for probably 5 years.
Yeah.
And Mike, I haven't been to Paris in a minute. My grandparents lived in Paris, and I still have an aunt that lives in Paris.
What is their last name?
Moody.
I know some Moody's over here. They ain't part of Moody Realty, is it?
No. My
set.
uncle worked for Dana Corp before he passed.
Yeah.
And my aunt worked at Emerson.
My father worked at Emerson before he passed.
My grandparents were Killebrew. So
I know some Killebrews. Great. Yeah. Okay. Mike Killebrew, did you ever know him? Probably a different
the name sounds familiar, but
probably like my daddy used to say. Now I'm a Weatherford, and there's a lot of Weatherford around here, but he always say that's a different pack of dogs.
Right,
We're not
different branch on the tree.
That's right.
Exactly.
Right. I'm gonna let y'all girls go, but I really appreciate it. We're gonna pray for you, Rhue, and I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing that story. I know it's tough, and I hope somebody calls that tip line, because every time we do a show, you get a tip or so, don't you, Amelia? Somebody always calls every time we do a show. But this time I want to call and say, I want to help Rhue. She deserves some answers. And I think with her saying that she'll take either, she just wants the truth, that'll help people want to help her. You know, because she's not one of them that just says the cops is bad and her mind's closed on it. It's not. She told me she would open up to either side. She just wants the damn truth. And God knows you deserve that, Rhue. I'm not pointing at you. I'm pointing with you. You deserve that. And thank you for coming in. Amelia, appreciate you, girl. Love you. And you be careful up there in New Jersey.
You guys too. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Thank y'all both for tuning in.
Good to see you, Amelia.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, folks. There you go. It is what it is. We've been talking with Rhue Shelton and Amelia Courtney. Rhue is the sister of Hugh Allen Heflin. He's the guy they found hung, suicide, they say, in the Stewart County jail in 1987. Now, she deserves to think what she wants to think. Give her that right. She deserves it, because unless you've been there, you don't know. But yet again, she has said that she would accept it if she was wrong and it was a suicide. So if you know anybody can help that girl, help her. You know, we're all in this old world together, and you never know. The next person that I might be asking for help could be you that I'm asking for help for. So if you know anyone, help that girl. Ricky, it's horrible. How would you like to be all them 38 years?
It's very hard to digest what she's going through.
It is.
And just, needs closure.
She needs closure. What I like, Ricky, was she did say that she would accept it if it was suicide. Because I don't want to think that about any.
I don't either. I think everybody in the industry proven guilty.
Yeah, that's right. They are. And she said it, and I asked her if she had any way to back up those accusations. She says, yeah. But she finally said, I would accept it if it was a suicide.
She said it 2 or 3
and that
times.
made me feel better toward her.
And she said it 2 or 3 times. So that's puts closure. So, to move on, but she needs closure.
She does.
And, guys, you got to pray for this young lady right here.
You got to pray for her, man.
She's got a lot going through her mind right now.
Can you imagine for 38 years, the holidays she's missed, and her poor mom and dad.
That's right.
They missed a lot, Ricky. You and I are blessed.
We're blessed. So, and keep her in your prayers.
Keep her in your prayer. Let's all try to bless her. Man, I appreciate it. It was a great show.
Man, great.
I didn't expect all this.
You said wow, and I was like, whoa. I had to put the reins on this horse.
Well, when you get me to shut up like this and just kind of listen, because I was thinking, what in the hell is Amelia got me into? But, me being what I am, she's entitled to think what she thinks.
She does.
Because I don't know what I'd think if I was in her shoes. All right, folks, there you go. Hey, don't forget, we got a great show coming up next week. It's going to be an excellent show. Behind the scenes at Patty's 1880s. I mean, come on, who doesn't like to go to Patty's? There's a lot going on that you don't know about over there. Where's it? Its history? Do you know what started? Do you know where it's going? Do you know what all's involved with this? We think we do, but I bet we don't. I got Kevin Reagan. He's the CEO of Patty's 1880s Settlement. It's going to be right here in the studio along with Ricky Price, because I think Ricky knows Kevin, don't you?
Know him well.
I've
talked to him 3 times a day.
We got some history coming up, right? We're going to get a history lesson.
A lot of how it was all started, formed.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is a lot to it over there. It's just more than a restaurant. There's a lot.
That's right.
It's right on Lake Barkley. Tune in next week and find out. Now, hope he's watching. And you better bring one of them big pork chops. I like it.
Well, we'll make sure.
Yeah, we love him pork chops.
Right.
They good eating over there. Don't forget, coming up next week right here on the Mike Weatherford Show. Then don't forget on Tennessee Informer, Vanessa Miller, concerned citizen and Christian advocate, spiritual science or spiritual control, faith versus falsehood, unmasking Issa. That's coming up Monday on the Tennessee Informer, September the 8th at 7 p.m.
What's Issa?
It's somebody tell my ear what Issa stands for.
I'm lost.
He forgot too.
Well,
Kevin,
I understand unmasking. I don't know what Issa is.
I don't know. It's something that it's a spiritual deal. You know, I don't know. We need to find out. Hey, you know what we do? Tune in and we'll find out.
Well, I'm gonna find out what Issa is.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out what Issa is. But anyway, she's gonna find out. We're gonna find out what it is and all about this coming up Monday, September the 8th, 7 p.m. Central. You'll find out what it's about.
Okay.
And what else we got popping up here? In pickleball. Don't forget, on Sportscast Live with Jeremy Bucklew, hey, he's got Tony Lawrence coming on. They're going to find out all about pickleball. Now, it's a big movement going on. I know what a pickle fork is. We use them in auto repair, knocking the tie rods apart. But pickleball, I don't know. Do you throw a pickle? Do you know, you play pickleball, Ricky? Ricky shaking his head, no. But it's going to be a great show.
Well, I get it.
It is a big deal.
Well, it is.
It's a big deal. That's coming up live on Sportscast with Jeremy Bucklew Sunday at 7:30 p.m.
Well, I tell you what, pickleball. Why don't we start tomato ball?
Hell yeah.
Huh?
How about biscuit and gravy ball?
Hell
yeah, biscuit ball. We make us one called biscuit ball.
Make it called biscuit ball.
There you go.
At biscuit ball tournament next Saturday. Bring your biscuits.
Bring your biscuits, and I got the gravy. Dana makes a good gravy. But that's coming up Sunday. All right, don't forget, last time I'm going to see you, next time you see me, I may have a pair of black eyes. But coming up Saturday, September the 6th, right out here at the Henry County Fairgrounds, tag team champion. If they throw them out of the ring and their feet hit the floor, they're out. They have got me, yours truly, Mike Weatherford, to be the special enforcer. So you got to be out at the fairgrounds and see what's going on. I'm not going to allow no cheating and no faking. It's going to be straight up or I'm not going to do it. That's coming up Saturday, September the 6th, right out here at the Henry County Fairgrounds. I want to see you, my viewer. Let's pack that place because I got to have you as my backup. Don't forget, coming up Saturday, this coming Saturday, I need you, my viewer, to come out there and back me up. Let all these big old wrestlers know that, hey, we got Mike's back. Don't make Ricky out tie my back by himself. He's going to have some help. Don't forget, it's coming up Saturday right here at the Henry County Fairgrounds. All right, folks, I've had a great time tonight. I want to thank you, my viewer, for tuning in. Like I said, we want to be your go-to place for all the things we all want to know about. Tonight was a good example of that. You know, it's that girl's entitled to whatever she wants to believe, and who knows? There's somewhere is the truth, and let's help that girl get to the truth.
The truth will set you free.
That's exactly. Now, I want to thank you, my viewer. I want to thank my sponsors. Without y'all guys, I couldn't do what I do, which is sit up here and kind of get like, wow, tonight, what the hell did I get into? I got weighted. I didn't just wade in. I dove in on this. I didn't know what was coming up. Maybe I need to do a little more research before I do these shows. But anyway, I want to thank my crew in the back, Kevin Keel, Scott Norwood, Billy Busey, and Dana Allen. They do all the hard work. I got the easy job sitting out here and talking. They do all the hard work, keeping up with all this mess in the back. It's very hard to do, but they knock it out of the park. And I want to congratulate Paula Kelly. She won her a tumbler right here. It's a Bluetooth tumbler and a pair of tickets to wrestling coming up this weekend. So, hey, we'll be back here next Tuesday with Patty's. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be a great show. Ricky?
Yes, Mike?
I'm going to tell them. Tune in next week. And like I always say, don't be late.
The Mike Weatherford Show is recorded live in the Brewer Street Mafia Studios in downtown Paris. A Kill Media, Brewer Street Mafia Productions.